What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for everything wild going on in the W. And it looks like Kelsey Mitchell just stepped into a whole storm, y'all. This one, we gotta take it straight to Indiana. Buckle up. Let's get into it. Now listen, I've been watching this build for a minute. I even told y'all last week, when that video dropped where most of the Fever squad looked like they wanted nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. I said it then, and I'll say it again now. Something ain't sitting right behind the scenes. Now fast forward to today, and boom, a tweet comes out of nowhere, and it ain't just some random fans stirring the pot. It's allegedly from Kelsey Mitchell's sister, and man, the heat coming off this post? Unreal. The account, poof, gone. Deleted. Vanished into thin air after this thing went viral. But don't worry, we got the receipts. The tweet says, Clark's delusional fans can stay mad and call me all of the names in the book, but we all saw, including y'all, who carries my Fever team, and we all know who the offense should be ran through. Whether you like it or not, these two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them. Bruh, that's not just shade, that's an eclipse. And if this really is her family, that tells you everything you need to know about the energy around Caitlin Clark inside that locker room. Look, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. No one outside the WNBA hardcores even knew Kelsey Mitchell's name before Caitlin Clark got drafted. That's not a diss, that's the truth. Say what you want, but Caitlin Clark's impact is undeniable. Ticket sales, up. Viewership, up. Jersey sales, through the roof. Arenas went from ghost towns to sellouts. So yeah, Kelsey can hoop. No doubt. She been in the league putting up numbers. But the spotlight, that came with Caitlin. She's the tide that lifted every boat in Indiana. And like it or not, that includes Kelsey Mitchell. So to her sister, or whoever's running those fingers on Twitter, you might want to sit this one out. Because without Caitlin, ain't nobody checking for y'all. And believe me, social media is not a real place. So, it is very much kind of one of those places you want to go into, and, have blinders, go in with some armor. Make sure you don't partake in anything that is too nasty or too negative, because these are the places that create so much toxic conversation. But above that, Chelsea Mitchell, who is Kelsey Mitchell's twin sister, says, I got to agree. And here's the thing. Kelsey Mitchell on the Indiana Fever says nothing but positive things about Caitlin Clark. Look here, I'm glad I'm a twin. That's all I'm going to say on my me. I don't know what's going on here. This is its time to start talking about how CC ruining the Fever momentum with her. I don't see them making the playoffs when she was out. I could see them upset when she was out. I could see them upsetting the New Yorks and Minnesota in the playoffs. And right here. So, I guess that's an agreement. I just don't understand why is this stuff coming out, because this is obviously going to make the rounds now. And it is more and more stuff is coming out. Her whole family shares this thought, by the way. They took pictures with Team Collier and 2 of the Team Clark replacements. Well, I don't know if we can get mad because they took pictures with other supposed all-stars. I think anybody's family would do that, so I wouldn't read too much into that, but still. Kevdre Mitchell. I don't know what member of the family this is. Last name Mitchell. She wrote, sport in general. But that season, Mitchell never even missed a game, finished the season 10th in MVP voting, and played a huge role in helping the Fever make the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. This past offseason, the Fever signed her to a supermax contract, making her one of the highest paid players in the league. Mitchell might not take a lot of the headlines with all the buzz around Clark. But make no mistake about it, Kelsey Mitchell is the soul of this franchise, and she's earned every bit of it. And look, she earned that spotlight. Every bit of it. But now I'm starting to wonder, is there something deeper going on in that locker room that we weren't supposed to see? Because this is wild. I don't know, man. Word is, some folks already started wiping their socials clean, gone. Deleted. You already know what that means. One word, jealousy. That's what it's looking like. And honestly, I feel bad for Kelsey. But she's gotta have a real convo with her people, because that noise is getting way too loud. Seriously, a lot of talk coming from the family of a 2-guard. And fans. Yeah, they're not taking this lightly. People are heated. Why even sign here if you didn't want to share the stage? She's gotten so much from sharing the court with Caitlyn. Built her profile. Boosted her brand. Now Caitlyn's catching strays while she's hurt? Seriously? One fan said, "It's not that deep. That's just family being family." Okay, maybe. But the issue? That family is talking publicly. That's the part that's blowing everything up. Now the whole fan base is divided. This thing's gotten messy and fast. You still got people out here caping for Stephanie White like she's done something worth defending. I really don't get it at this point. What exactly are you defending? Because from what I've seen, she's been flat out bad. And let's be real, that alone has already caused serious division within the Fever fan base. But now this latest mess is only going to split the fan base even more. And honestly, I've had this gut feeling for a while now. Kelsey Mitchell isn't sticking around after this season. She's on a 1-year deal. That tells you something already. And I do believe she sees herself as the centerpiece. And yeah, sure, she's one of the big 3 on this team. No denying that. But this team is built around Caitlyn Clark. She's the franchise face, the marketing engine, the one getting double-teamed every game. Now here's where things get dicey. I really wonder, deep down, if you gave Stephanie White a dose of truth serum, would she say Kelsey is actually her star? Like, not Caitlyn. Kelsey. And that's a huge issue if that's the case. Because that means this team is being coached with the wrong person in the spotlight. And no disrespect to Kelsey, but that ain't going to work long-term. Not with where this team is going. People keep brushing it off like, oh, it's just family. It's not that serious. But it is serious when it starts leaking out and turning into public drama. And this league, let's be honest, is full of messy situations. Sometimes you hear more about what's happening off the court than the product on the court. That's a problem. That's a real problem. And look, I think Kelsey ends up leaving. I really do. And that might tick some fans off, but if she truly sees herself as the one, and she's not being treated that way internally, whether it's by the team or the media, then she's going to look for a fresh start. Here's the part no one wants to talk about. When you're around your family and you start venting, what happens? They hype you up. They gas you. They get emotional for you. And before you know it, you walk into practice or a team meeting already frustrated because of what your cousin or your sister said the night before. I've seen it happen. Regular folks go through that, too. And yeah, your family's always going to back you. But sometimes, they're backing the wrong play. And if you can't check that, if you let it influence how you show up every day with your teammates, it's going to snowball. And that's where it becomes toxic, not just for Kelsey, but for the whole Fever locker room.
Even without Caitlyn Clark, it was the second highest rated WNBA All-Star game ever, and that is a huge point of distinction. Two things are clear. If Caitlyn Clark plays in the All-Star game, it will set records. But now, because of her popularity, even if she doesn't, it will break records and be the second highest ever. Only beaten by the time she played in it. And that matters. That's why the women, despite you guys not liking the t-shirts they wore, pay us, you owe us, that's why the women have the leverage. And this is what Tiger Woods did to the PGA Tour. Yes, Tiger made the most money, but he raised the purses in all tournaments and made a lot of people rich. That was the key. So this all-star rating is proving, despite losing 1 million viewers from last year, is that she has risen the entire league. This league is now a topic on all sports shows on all sports networks. I'm watching the highlights this morning. Comes right before the Cowboys. So, and people say, well, the last 25 years it's lost money. Guys, have any of you guys business people? That doesn't matter much. You don't even have to make a profit to sell your company for millions and millions of dollars. I use the example of The Athletic being purchased by the New York Times. It was losing $45 million a year, and they're very happy today because it breaks more stories than any sports section probably of my life. It's very relevant, The Athletic. It's not real profitable, but it adds scale to the New York Times. So it's a great investment, very worthy investment. And this is the point. All negotiations in business, in all sectors, it could be tech, it could be media, law, it doesn't matter, are all about timing. The WNBA is hot and the contract's up. Now, if the contract would have been up 1 hour before Caitlin Clark was drafted, that's a different ballgame. You'd be projecting on something you didn't know. But now we have numbers. Now we have 2 back-to-back all-star ratings. Sets a record, and even if gone, highest in 19 years, except for the one game with her that set the record. And here's the other thing, is that this is not a woke opinion, is that league valuations for all these investors have increased in 1 year 168%. That's not the fever. The fever with Caitlin's evaluation has got up 273%. The rest of the teams on average have risen by 100% or 168%, and all of them at least 100%. So if you're an investor, the contract's up, you're negotiating, and your investment's gone up 100% in the last year minimum. Average is 168%. You're selling it? I'll give you an example. Is that in the last year, the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, has had a franchise, an expansion franchise. They're using the Warriors Arena. They sell out all their home games. That's not about Caitlin Clark. So some of you guys out there on the internet, you are epidemiologists, you're experts in politics. You're not very good business people. You're all caught up on, well, the previous 25 years, they're hot now. And the negotiations are currently in session.